It's about 8:30. I've been up for a little bit. Not too long, just a few minutes. I've got a show tonight, so I've got all these things I need to put in place or in motion. Um, I'm supposed to be done this by now, but I got distracted, obviously, by the primary yesterday, which was much closer than anybody thought. Um, so I'm going to do all the things I need to do to get ready for the show and then get back to doing this. I might be able to get it done before I go. I've got 12 hours before I go anywhere, so we'll find that out. Let's have a cognitive dissonance update here. It's the same thing as I said before. I'm looking at the polls. I'm saying, if the polls are mildly accurate, then we should expect this. But there's all of this data that's inconsistent, and it suggests that it's unfair. But and I did the same thing, right? I've done this twice now, as I've said, the process is unfair, but then I've looked at the data that I'm claiming is inaccurate, and I'm saying, I'm trying to compare the results based on it, right? So I'm spinning myself around in circles. I've explained that this is cognitive dissonance. I can't get rid of this entirely. I need to look at it from both angles, right? I need to say, okay, this is inconsistent. It strongly suggests it's not fair, but I also need to say, okay, if I forget about that, what does the data that I don't think is accurate actually say, right? So here's the update on that. Is this rigged? Well, the result was a little bit better than the numbers, but that's easy to explain. So does that put this to rest? The answer is not quite, because you don't prove a negative. That's why these conspiracy theories are so hard to get rid of. So don't think that, just because he won in Michigan, therefore it proves that the rest isn't rigged. That's faulty logic, right? Okay, let's try a thought experiment. If you were going to try and rig Michigan, what would you do? Well, you would stuff ballot boxes in Detroit. You probably wouldn't control every polling place. You just control the important ones in the urban cores, right? And if you look at the numbers, that's what happened is she won huge in Detroit and the areas around Detroit. Now, from the other perspective, how would you fight that? Well, if you were going to win anyways, despite these attempts to rig the votes in the urban cores, you'd have to overpower that by winning big in the areas that she doesn't control. And that's what happened, is that she won big in the urban centers and she lost big in the rural areas, which is exactly what you would expect to see if she had tried to rig the vote and failed, right? So it's also consistent with the same kind of head-scratching results that we saw in Massachusetts. You would think Bernie would do better amongst low-wage earners, both in Detroit and in Boston. These are urban core voters. And it's the urban polling stations that she would rig if she were to rig anything. So it might seem on first glance that this dispels this idea, but in fact the results are completely consistent with the idea that she tried to rig it, but failed to actually do it. Which doesn't prove it's rigged, of course. It just doesn't disprove it. The results in one state don't make the results in other states disappear either. So at the end of the day, whatever happens in whatever state is only relevant in a specific state. It doesn't disprove anything in any other state, right? I need some more updated polling before I can say anything at all about the fairness of the remaining contests, but do please remain skeptical and please do remain vigilant. I think that the overriding evidence is still very suspicious. We didn't get... If she had won by a landslide, that would have been a smoking gun. We didn't get that. Meaning that, if anything, it seems more that she's so incompetent that she can't even rig the election that she's trying to steal. Right? So I've got everything planned out. I'm going to see a band called Guerilla tonight. They're on a bill with kind of like a super group as well, from some hipster guitarist and a fairly respected noise drummer. I checked out some of their stuff though, and it's just not that good. So I don't know how long I'll stay for that for. We'll find out. Something that I'm going to see for sure though is a band called Guerilla. It's a noise act. It's more just an experiential thing. I taking some shots early more than anything else. But I'm going to a part of Detroit that I haven't been to before, and that is putting me in a pretty certain situation of needing to walk through still a relatively safe part of Detroit. I mean, this is not the bad part of Detroit, but it's not the good part of Detroit anymore either. It's kind of the middle of the road. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I may be a little bit sporadic with the camera as a consequence of that. But everything, all the information that I'm able to build kind of on where I'm going is that it looks really run down and old and like falling apart and stuff, but once you get inside it'll look nice and the people are relatively decent people and all these sorts of things, right? So I'm not going to like, you know, totally, I'm not going to some forgotten neighborhood in Detroit where, you know, I'd get shot for being white. Like, that's not where I'm going. And there are places, I mean, there's spots that the cops won't enter. It's just like, you know, and that is the reality of it, right? Sorry, you know, I'm, if talking about things honestly upsets you, then, you know, fuck off. Sorry. So the, like, I'm not going somewhere where there's a high chance I'm going to get hurt, but I am going somewhere I haven't been before. It's Detroit, so I'm going to be a little cautious about it. But I think I'll be all right. It's somewhat of an adventure because of that, but we'll find out. Like I say, it's a noise band first. There's some like atmospheric guitar thing that should probably not play at all, playing first. And then there's the band, right? So I don't know what kind of time frame I'm looking at. I haven't been to this place before. I think that judging from, like, I think I've been able to figure out from the, you know, looking at the bus schedules and stuff, that if I'm able to get out of there by midnight or so, I should be able to get home. If the show lasts longer than midnight, then I will have to find a way to. What I'll probably want to do is I'll probably want to stay there late, and then go. There's a Coney Island spot up on Woodward that I have not been to yet, and that would theoretically be my best spot for an overnight in that area. I am in walking distance from the town, right? So I'm not going up to like deep Detroit, well, you're not Detroit anymore. Like, I'm not, like, when I went to see Skinny Puppy, it was in Pontiac, which was way out. Okay, we've been to a few shows in Ferndale, which I couldn't. Well, I could walk home from Ferndale because I do a lot of walking. I could do it. Most people couldn't do it. We're talking, you're looking at like a 2 or 3 hour walk, right? Pontiac would take all day. Like, I'm not joking. It would be like a 10-hour walk, right? So, where I'm at, it's about an hour walk, which is doable for me, fairly easily. You have seen me walk longer than that to do groceries, and I will no doubt go for walks that are longer than that in Detroit. Well, I already have, and I'm sure that you will come with me on more than a few. But I would prefer the sun to stay up a little bit later. I was considering, I'll probably take the bus there. It's about a half-hour bus ride. Due to all the congestion and everything up the road, it might be shorter than that, but that's what they're putting down. And it would be much shorter than that if it was, you know, a non-congested road, and they're putting in a streetcar system. Once they get that in, that's how I'll get from there to there. Would be the streetcar, right? And I'll probably run that all night. That'll be nice. That'll be very useful. But for right now, I mean, like I said, I was considering walking. You know, maybe, you know, get a rock star and, you know, just walk up the street, you know, for an hour or something, get there to feel a little funny. I do that all the time. Get a few beers before you go to the bar. It's called pre-drinking. It's pretty normal, actually. But I mean, it's going to be dark, and if the sun was going to be up another hour, you know, I would be wanting to do it. But I mean, like, I'm planning on getting there around 9:30. So I'd be walking from like 8, you know, and the sun will already be down. So, you know, another month or two from now, I'll probably give that a try. But like I said, I need to feel some things out. The reality is that the space between here and there's like a neighborhood that I've been through a few times, and it's, like I say, it's old, it's falling apart, but it's not scary. And then beyond that is the campus, This is the Wayne State University, and then beyond that is um, another kind of neighborhood that's like the one before the university, right? So it's like I'm the bulk of the walk is through campus, right? So I really shouldn't be that concerned, and once I've done this a few times, I'm sure I won't be. You know, it's just that this is the first time I'm going in that direction, and I'm walking through this neighborhood. If I walk through this neighborhood, if I do, it'll be on the way back, and it'll only be some light, right? I was just thinking that it would be beneficial to walk through it on the way there, and you know what? I still might, just so that I have kind of an understanding of where I'm going, what I'm doing, because if I do have to walk back, I'm gonna have a bit of a grasp on it, but the flip side of that is I kind of already know. And I'm kind of not really that worried about it. Here's the deal on that. I should be done with the email by now. It's a little bit before 2 o'clock. I've given myself until 5 o'clock when, at 5 o'clock I'll need to take a shower and get ready to start going, right? It will take longer to walk than it will to take the bus. So, if I get the emails done quickly, then I'll have nothing else to do. I'll finish the emails, take a shower, and if I'm ready to go early, I'll do that. I'll walk out early, and I'll take a walk. It'll be a little dark, not what I want, but I'll do it, right? The flip side of that is that the other thing is that it's really nice out. It's almost 20 degrees out. It's March 10th. Like, it's technically winter in Canada still, right? I know that if you're from a little south of here, in fact, you don't even have to go very far south of here. Most people consider March to be, a spring month, right? In Canada, we consider, it is meteorological. The first day of spring is at the end of March, right? So it is winter, So, but I mean, it's normal for it to be snowy and cold in March. In Canada, we don't tend to get. We don't tend to get those kinds of nice days that we associate with spring until April, and then we get those April showers, and they bring the Mayflowers, and it gets warm. Our kind of concept of the end of spring, in fact, is not until the end of May. We have something that we call the 2-4 weekend here in Canada. It's the Victoria Day weekend. It coincides roughly with your Memorial Day weekend, but up here it celebrates the Queen's birthday, and we expect it to be frost overnight until the 24th of May, meaning that summer in Canada doesn't start until June, and it's reasonable to expect it. I mean, it will snow in March, it will snow in April, and it will probably snow in May too, right? So the weather that we're getting over the last couple of months has just been outrageous, and this is just another example of it. So it's a nice day to go for a walk and have a drink, stumble through Detroit, and kind of explore a little bit, right? So I kind of want to do that. It's just that question of not being completely sure where I'm going, and the fact that I know that there's so much construction means that maybe it might not be such a nice walk because it's construction everywhere. Yeah, right. So I'll figure that out in the next couple of hours. I have every intention of taking the bus, but like I say, if this works itself out quicker, I don't think I'm going to get done the goal, to be honest with you. But if it gets done quickly, if I get out of here quickly, I'm not going to sit around and throw things at the wall. I'm going to take a walk early and go explore. We'll see how that works out. So it's about 4:30 and that is finally done, and I'm actually happy about that. That is great. I'm way too late on finishing it, but at least I can go to the concert tonight. I've got a few concerts coming up in the next few days, so I can go to the concerts. I got something done, so I finished something, and I can go have fun and come back and get back to work afterwards. That means that all of the Death to Koalas stuff that I'm able to track down anyways is gone. Okay? I'm sure there's still plenty of it out there. What I'm noticing is there's a certain cutoff point. I was able to find things that didn't show up on my page, and able to realize that there was stuff that I wasn't getting notifications on. It seems like when they split the systems up, they really borked the whole thing, right? So, if people respond to my comments, I'll find them and I'll have to react to them, right? It's just the reality of it and how it will need to go. But I think I've mostly gotten, like I said, I've gotten everything I can get off. Anything that's left is straggling, and we'll see if people react to my message from the Koala Central Command to please react to any videos that you see my name on. Just reply to them, comment on them, and it'll come up in the notifications, and I can do it from there. But otherwise, that profile is closed. Done. Over. Moving on. The next thing I need to do is going to be related to clearing off the remaining comments from the last election in Canada, which is going to be, I guess it's about 3 months worth of comments. It's pretty like heavy, but I mean it's not going to be. It can't be anything like it was for that, right? So if that takes a week, then I'm sitting good, and I've pretty much got everything that I can get off. So I'm talking about like I'm getting sick of this. It's like I'll be done, and then it's just a question of putting things together, trying to find things that I might have. I think I'm going to want to go through my old email as much as I can anyways. See if I can find as much of it as I can, combine a few things, condense some things down, and take stuff out of the email. So that'll be kind of like a last phase sort of thing. But like I say, deathtokoalas is done. It's over. It's removed. So I'm moving into the next part of this. I'm a little early. I'm gonna get ready and see what time it is when I'm ready to go. It's after 4:30. It's not much after 4:30. So we got another hour or two worth of light anyways. It doesn't look like we're gonna get any rain, which is another positive part of this, or at least we won't until overnight. They were calling for spitting. So yeah, I'm ecstatic actually that that's done. That was a month? It took me a month. I knew it was going to take a long time, but it's done. So I'm moving on. See, it's only 6:30 and it's dark out. It's nice out, but it's dark out. So I don't see any. I don't want to walk in the dark. Put a little makeup on today. I think this is the first time, like in the whole series of the vlog, that I've put any makeup on. It's been like months, so I don't tend to bother, do I? But I'm going out somewhere. I put a little bit of lipstick on. It's not so crazy when you think about it. I can't find a pencil sharpener. I'd like to do with those eyes. It's just I can't do it like that. So. If I can't find a pencil sharpener, I guess I'm stuck. I got an hour, so like I said, it's about 7. If I was gonna take the bus, if I had to take the 8:30 bus, then I'll get there like just on time, kind of thing. It's looking like I'm gonna plan for the 8 o'clock bus, which means that I'll be leaving fairly soon. Actually, let's get everything together and get out of here. It's just I don't have a pencil sharpener. Damn it. I am so happy actually that I don't have kids. I am so happy. Like I could not exist with children. Okay. So, maybe I'm old enough. I don't know. Am I old enough? I'm getting there. I have to be getting there. It depends um, on whether you're talking about a rambunctious teenage. I guess it depends on whether you're talking about a rambunctious high school student or an immature college student. Um, let's be clear about something. Okay, I'm a little older. Maybe old enough to be your mother. I don't want to fuck you. Okay? You're just a kid. Okay? If you want to have your little fantasy, in your bedroom, with your little dreams and whatever, then that's fine. It's up to you. Just don't confuse yourself. Okay? These older women don't want to touch you. Unless you get to a point where there's an where the age difference is conducive to a level of maturity that such terms no longer appear. I don't know. I'm not sure if I could, or if I'm old enough, or whatever, but I'm going to the show. So it's about 7:45. I am a block away from the bus stop, on the Canadian side still. Casino there. This is a big empty space. Meaning I'm gonna catch the 8 o'clock bus, which means I'm a little early. I was planning on catching the 8:30 bus. It's summer. Today is March 10th, and this is a summer night. An early summer night, but I mean, I keep pointing out that this is Canada, and it's not. It can go down to around 10 overnight in July, August, pretty much any time of the year in the summer. So, if it's around 17 degrees, which I believe it is right now, at 8 o'clock at night, that could be at any point, from apparently March now until apparently November now. So we're getting longer periods. I guess they finished the construction here. That's positive. So we're getting longer periods of habitable weather here now, which is nice. We had a long summer, but I mean, even in the late fall, like we had a few days in November where it was like in the 20s. But what would happen is that it would hit like 25 degrees or something at noon, and then by midnight it was like 0, right? So you'd get this like blast of warm air during the day, but the temperature would sink overnight. This is seeming like it's going to be nice all night sort of thing, which is more of a season. Excuse me, more of a summer season all night. So it doesn't look like this is going to last. I think even when I head to Ann Arbor on Friday night, it's not going to be quite this nice. But for right now, it's night that is essentially interchangeable from any other. Well, let me rephrase that. This would be a cool night for a summer night, but it's a night that could occur at any point in the summer, at this part of the year. Sorry, at this part of the continent. So it's nice to take advantage of it. With the sweater on, like it feels like it feels like June. I mean, if I took my sweater off, it wouldn't, but it does. So. I'm gonna get copyrighted on that, so yeah, it's 1:45. 2 minutes to wait here. Since when are there cowboys from New Jersey, anyways? You know, like, you want to be like, go get 'em, partner, but like, no, you're from New Jersey. What the fuck? On the bus. This is actually a double bus. First time I've been on a double bus. I don't mean like double decker up. I mean just like double in length. In Detroit. It's always one of those ones with the squeaky things there. I'm always afraid they're gonna fall apart. But anyways, this is gonna go through the bus station, and then I don't know if it takes. Well, I presume it'll take Cass most of the way. Then up to Woodward. And I'm gonna wait until I get. I've taken that route enough times, but I've never gotten off here or actually been to where I'm being. I was able to check on the Google Maps that it's after the railroad tracks, and I was able to sort of recognize that place, so that'll come up there, and I'll know where to get off. I didn't spend too much time checking this out in the Google Maps. I've driven up Woodward there a couple of times. This is pretty downtown, if you ask me. So I certainly don't feel like I'm outside of a major urban space. That's for sure. It's kind of. I'm not sure if this is technically campus. It might be. It might be just past it. I believe that I might actually be walking by the Fisher Theater, which is the old Broadway theater in Detroit. Is that it there? Might be. So I'm not like, yeah, like this is, what is this? This is the Cadillac place. Well, if you're gonna name a fancy building something, I guess you should name it the Cadillac place, huh? So, as is the rest of Detroit, it's obviously quite old. That's what you will notice if you ever come to Detroit, is that everything is like ancient. But on top of it being ancient, a lot of it is because it's ancient in less than great condition. But when you get to find the nice spots like this is, I kind of feel like maybe I'm walking through New York. That's what I'll say. Although I suspect people from Detroit are not going to take a second place to New York. Anyways, I need to walk over a freeway here. As far as I can tell, I'm downtown. So, walking home from here does not seem to be anything at all to concern myself with. It'd be nice if this guy didn't accelerate to the light, though. Is it even a? Is that an ambulance? No, it's just it's royal transportation. So those are the special people, I guess. They're VIP. Can't you see how fast they go? Now this is downtown by any definition. Okay, so okay, that puts my nerves at ease. Because I don't think it's likely that I'm going to get out of here on time. My measure of the amount of time it takes to walk out of the bus stop is going to be a little bit skewed from all the stopping and talking, but it looks like I'm dealing with about a 15-minute walk. Meaning the show's got to be done by midnight. I don't think the show might start at midnight, so, so be it. But yeah, I'm in for this way. And it's still beautiful out. For March, this is ridiculous. I've noticed that the McDonald's around here tend to close far too early. I don't have any idea what time that McDonald's is open till, but I'm gonna guess I'm about halfway there, meaning that's strategically useful to take note of. I believe this is the highway I need to cross over right here. And once I get over that, it's going to be more of a creepy part. But I mean, see, that's what I thought. It was going to be like a block, and I'm no fan of the police. Don't get me wrong, but like, I'm a block from the police department. So yeah, I just stumbled up the back end of Trumbull here. It's called Lincoln for a block. It's more like, I was thinking it was like, the offset of an isolated neighborhood, but it's more like a bunch of parking lots. Really, it's what it is. It's I gotta walk through a parking lot area, and when I get over the parking lots, then I'll be in. Again, like I say, it's old, but it doesn't look so bad. And I think that once I get in there, I'll be surprised by how nice it is. That's what it's a general rule that I find in this area, is that it's ancient, and it could clearly use some work, but the actual, inside of places is generally nice. So it's a block here, but like I say, my supposed scary neighborhood is really just a bunch of parking lots. So I don't know if I'll have enough light to get my point across here, but that's the place I wanted to avoid. There are no lights that way, but that is downtown. If I were to walk that way to where there are no lights, I'd be moving towards downtown. And if I would be walking this way where there are lights, I'd be moving away from downtown. So that's what I was trying to avoid. So yeah, it's the stage right on the floor. It's always a little bit more real when they're right in front of you like that. Maybe 500 people in here. Small bar. Okay, so yeah, that's this place. This looks like maybe there's an upstairs though too, huh? So it's almost 2, and I'm home. I wish it would have been a little warmer because I had to wear like sweaters, and I layered just so that I could like strip down a little. That didn't happen. But I'm home, and I'm safe. I didn't see the last band. I mean, it would have been... I wasn't that excited about it, so I was hoping I'd see a little bit of it. Had they started at like 11:40 and I was really into it a little bit later, then I might have stayed and watched the rest of it. But it was more like... it didn't look like it was going to start until like midnight, right? And so they missed their chance to like get me to stay for a few minutes. That's probably not what they were thinking in their mind, and maybe there's really little reason for them to think that in their mind, but that nonetheless is what I'm thinking in my mind. So I wasn't that excited, like I say. If I wanted to stay late, I would have. But I was also, I had to walk home a route that I'd never walked before. So, walking over at midnight versus walking over at 3 is a big difference, right? Because the people that you're worried about at 3 are going somewhere at midnight, right? So they're going from A to the place that they're going between 11 and midnight or somewhere like around there, right? And then at 3 is they're leaving from where they were to go home. And that's when you don't want to run into people. When people are going out from A to B, it's less, they're in a hurry to get home and everything else, right? So that's ridiculous logic, but it's accurate. It's always been accurate, right? So it may seem like walking around at midnight is insane, but it's not really bad until you get like past 2-ish. Then that's when the bars close, is it? Well, actually, that's not even true. In Detroit, the bars close at 1. So, I mean, that just demonstrates my point, right? So, yeah, so I wanted to, because I was, sorry, I still had a sweater on, layer number 2 on there, on my arm. It just fell off. Um, yes, because I had never taken that route before. So, making sure that I can get to a bus and out was, even if it's just a proof of concept, right? So I was a little bit less um, excited about staying for this particular band, that I wasn't excited by samples at all. So, um, that's that. How was the band I went to see? Um, I think that they could have been a little more dynamic. Um, it sounded a little bit canned. Um, it wasn't bad. Um, the sound wasn't so good. And it's just like I say, the sound could have been better, and they could have been more dynamic in what they were doing. It sounds a lot better on record, and that's the truth of it. What can I say? Um, so yeah, I remembered on the way home that I actually have editing to do now that I'm done that archiving. So before I do anything, I've gotta catch up on that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not sure I'm doing anything tonight. Um, besides maybe just kind of edging a little and maybe going to sleep. We'll find out soon.